What's going on, people? So, after doing some research on Best Buy and GameStops and Targets and websites like that, and realizing that Best Buy, I'm going to pick on them for just like 2 seconds if you don't mind. Realizing that Best Buy doesn't know the definition of the word clearance, which usually entails that a store wants to get rid of merchandise to make room for more merchandise. After realizing they don't understand what the fuck that means, because their definition of clearance is only marking items down like $2, $3, which you usually pay that in taxes, isn't really clearance when the item is like $60 fucking. So that aside, after looking at that, I started to notice a trend. What trend am I talking about? If you own a Nintendo Switch, you might have not noticed this either. Or you might have noticed this. I don't know. Depending on if you've been doing like me and you've got kind of a nice little collection going on. I don't have all the Switch games. I'm not really trying to get all the Switch games. I don't have LA Noire, nor do I really give a fuck about LA Noire. Sorry, Rockstar, but I'm also not sorry, as that game was bricking people's systems when it first came out and popping graphics cards. I am not sorry. I don't trust that game. You have a shit ton of good games that you could have released, and you chose LA Noire. Now, nothing against that game, but I remember the problems that game had when it came out. I don't trust it. So, I don't care. Now, you can say, well, that's just this and that, but again, that's me. That aside, let's look at what I'm talking about. Did you buy Rocket League when it came out digitally? I got nothing against Rocket League. I bought it digitally because it was released digitally, and I support Panic Button because they do really good work. But in the same month, we got another game called Portal Knights. It's available to play right now. You can go download it right now. But there's a trend here going on in the eShop if you pay close enough attention. Portal Knights and Rocket League are gonna have their own physical copy sometime in 2018. But you can play them now digitally. Oh, and I know what you're thinking is there's going to be a price difference. No, there's absolutely no price difference between the physical copy of these games and the digital copy. Trust me, I've already looked into it. There's no price difference. Portal Knights is like $30 on the eShop, and the physical copy is 30 fucking dollars. Why in the fuck is this game months apart? There's gonna be no difference. Why is Rocket League taking months to come out on the cartridge? What's the problem here? It's almost as if you have a hidden secret agenda, Nintendo. Your system is built with 32 gigs of memory, which, on respectable levels, if we buy the physical merchandise, and I'm talking early in its lifespan, I'm talking 2, 3 months, was more than enough because it read it off of the fucking card. Games like LA Noire, Doom, and even Skyrim and others are eating more memory, making it necessary to go out and buy the fucking SD cards. I have a 64 gig in there now, and it's getting eaten up pretty quickly. Okay, if I want to play Resident Evil, which is on my list because I never played the second one, and I don't mean the second one as in Resident Evil 2, I mean Revelations. I'm gonna end up having to make buying like a bigger memory card top priority because the second game is not on the disc, it's a download. It almost seems like you're making digital content your priority here. And what's winning you right now isn't digital content, it's convenience over everything. And you're gonna fuck this up. By doing this, you're going to fuck everything up. By doing this type of shit. Now, I have no problem with releasing a digital game a little early, but then you're withholding the physical content, the physical merchandise, having a physical copy to hold in your hands months down the road. Hell, Rhyme didn't even do that. Rhyme's digital copy and physical copy came out the same fucking day. And that's an independent title, an indie title. I believe Portal Knights is as well. And so is Rocket League. But these games are coming out digitally first and physical later. What the fuck? This has potential to be harmful to your environment, to your ecosystem there, Nintendo. Because people are still not happy with having to buy a fucking SD card because you put 32 gigs in there. Now, I understand the memory issue isn't even that important because it's not like with Sony having a proprietary memory card that costs you an arm and a leg after paying $300. Even though you can pay upwards of $100 something if you want a very big memory card, which a lot of people will run out and buy and then bitch about it, but hey, at least you can go above 60 something gigs, unlike with Sony, which you were stuck with. Just gonna point that out because nobody else is gonna say that shit. So, let's be honest. The Switch can house way more memory than the PSP ever could. Pointing that out and moving on from that, I just don't see the point in having these games be held coupled for a couple of months or 4 or 5 months on end, when getting the physical, not disc, but the fucking physical copy, the cart, whatever you want to call it, doesn't eat up my memory card. And it's not like having that physical cart eats up a whole lot of fucking room. Okay? I have like 19 of them sitting over here. I have like 19 of them right now. All the way from, what the fuck is the first one called? ARMS. I have ARMS all the way to Xenoblade 2. It's a lot of games, but they don't eat up that fucking much room. Okay? Excuse me. It's not like it's a bunch of PS4 games and their CDs. It's not like that. It's not like it's PS2 games. It's not like it's Xbox One titles. It's not like it's PS4 titles. It's not like it's PS3 titles or even PlayStation 1 games. These games, I can house 20 of these bitches in this and take it with me. This thing is very convenient, yet Nintendo, you're making this thing very more complicated than it need to be. You get what I'm saying? If you want the digital market to be Switch's digital only, then make it that. But be prepared for the consequences. Okay? Remember, Sony did that with the PSP Go, and it failed. Even with the PSP being a mainstream, okay system, it still failed because the consumer was not ready to go all digital. And even now, they're still not ready to go all digital. There's still like, I think, over 60% who prefer physical content. Think about that. You have something that is no bigger than this right here. This is a 3DS game. You have content you're releasing for your Switch, which is very popular right now, that is no bigger than this. This is tiny in comparison. That eats no more room than that. And you're releasing digital content months in advance. And people are not happy with the memory issue. You're creating a problem within your own product that doesn't need to exist. And it's oddly enough with indie titles, which is very odd. I find that very strange that it's indie titles. Rocket League, Portal Knights 2, again, that are months out from getting a physical title. And had I known Rocket League was getting a physical title, I would have waited until that game came out physically, because I feel like I just gave you guys money for a game that I didn't need to download. See what I'm saying? I feel cheated here. I would rather spend that kind of money on the eShop on games that I know will never see a physical, copy. That's what that's for. I feel duped here because I would prefer to buy physical games for that reason. And I would rather spend digital content money on digital games. You know, games that'll never get a physical copy because the studio doesn't have that kind of money to throw around. I'd rather support them that way. That's what the digital thing's for. And there's people who don't care. But me, I do. Because now I'm like, well, there's $20 I just spent on a game that I could have easily spent $20 on once it fucking releases. See what I'm saying? But now that I know Portal Knights is coming out in February, I'm not going to download it. And yes, I'm upset about it because I was looking forward to it being the thing that I got Christmas Day or the day after Christmas, which is today. Now it's maybe the 27th when this video goes live. But I was looking forward to it, and then I found out, oh, there's a physical one coming out in February, you know, the same time as Bayonetta 2, which is ported over from the Wii U. I was like, fuck. Because I was looking forward to playing that. I've been looking forward to playing that ever since it was launched in November. And I thought, okay, well, it's a, you know, eShop exclusive game, which is digital only. No, we're getting a physical of it. I'm just going to wait for the physical version because I'd rather get the physical version of the game, which doesn't seem to eat that much memory, but I won't know until the physical comes out. Pardon me. A lot of physical games are eating more and more memory. Yes, that's true. Well, like I said, I got like 19 games over there. I have a 64 gig memory card put into the damn thing, and there's still over half of it that is, you know, unused. Now, had I went and downloaded every single one of those, I would probably have to have a 400 gig memory card in there now. Just because, hey, you downloaded all of them. You know what I mean? Because what is it? Zelda Breath of the Wild is like a 14, 15 gig game alone. And then the DLC for that. See, I bought the DLC after both of them were released and downloaded that. Then I have like four eShop games by themselves outside of Rocket League. I have Vaccine, Radiant Saga, one that I can't pronounce, starts with a P, and shit, let me get the Switch, and I'll fucking tell you what they are. Okay, so I got my Switch, I just turned it on. Okay, Radiant Saga, Antiqua Lost, where the fuck's the other one? Oceanhorn. Okay, so Oceanhorn, Vaccine, Radiant Saga, and Antiqua Lost. Those are the games I have outside of Rocket League. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think Vaccine, Oceanhorn, Radiant Saga, or Antiqua Lost will ever see a physical copy, ever. Now, Oceanhorn might. I don't know. I haven't even looked at that game. But Vaccine was like $10. That game's not going to have a physical copy ever. Okay? Oh, that other game I can't pronounce. It's like, if you can see it, hopefully you can. There you go, it focused. It's that one. I don't know how to say it, but that's the game, and it starts with, it's Pankapu. If you know how to say that, that's the game I have that I can't pronounce. It's not a bad looking game. It's actually very well done. It was very well, it's kind of like Child of Light. If you ever played Child of Light, it's kind of like that game. I don't want to say just like it because I hate comparing games, but it plays just like that game where it's platforming with a sword. But it's very well good. It's a very good game. I'm waiting for Child of Light to come over to the Switch, by the way. I don't think that game's ever going to get a hard copy either. I prefer to buy digital only games when I buy from the eShop because that way I make sure, okay, if I'm going to eat up the memory card in here, then it's going to be with digital only games. And then all those physical copies I can have sitting right over here. And I know that I spent that on physical content, and the memory card is safe because the memory card is eaten less by physical. It's how that normally works. But Nintendo is fucking it up. You know what I mean? And I hate taking shots at Nintendo, but this is something a lot of people don't do. They don't take shots the right way. They don't, They don't actually point out the fuckery that's actually there. They want to talk about Nintendo and how, oh, it's a fucking tablet and it's got no power and 4K. That's how they want to talk about it. This is actually something you can actually look up on, like I said, Best Buy and GameStop and Targets, and you can find, Rocket League's physical copy comes out in January. I don't know what the day is, but it comes out in January. You're excited about Portal Knights like I am? It comes out February, and you can check that on Best Buy, and you can check it on Target, and find the physical copy and the release dates. You see what I'm saying? So you can see that. And like I said, if you're like me, you're a little upset about that because, oh, I spent money on a game that I didn't need to buy the digital for because the physical is coming, and I just got duped out of money that I didn't have to spend. You see what I'm saying? Maybe that should be a warning they have on their eShop for certain games, because you know it would help people out. Hey, Rocket League, physical is coming. If you would prefer to wait for the physical, the release date for that is here. That's not on the eShop. Should let people know. And I know that sounds really stupid to say, but I bought Panic Button's other game, Doom. That port, that's Panic Button. And I bought that, but I bought it physically. I didn't buy the digital. I bought it physically. So, it's not like I wouldn't have bought it had I known, hey, it's coming physically. Oh, well, then I'll go buy the physical copy. You see what I'm saying? So, I'm not mad that I bought it. I'm just mad that I didn't know that there's a physical copy. So, anyway. Pardon me. I just wanted to make that known because I don't see anyone talking about this. And I think it's something that needs to be discussed because it's only happening on Nintendo. I don't see this shit happening on Sony. I don't see this shit happening on Xbox. It's only happening on Nintendo, where games are releasing digitally months in advance before the physical is ever released. Deuces.